Welcome back to another episode of The Legend of the Last Airbender.
And we are?
The Black Lotus Society.
Oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, I remember now.
Is it? Because I didn't remember. I just threw that one off the cuff.
It kind of worked.
I mean, look, if I could remember to do it every week.
Well, we got to learn how to harmonize. So we can.
Well, see, I don't sing very well, so, you know, the harmonization thing.
It takes a little practice.
Does it? Or am I just terrible at it?
That too, but you know.
You know what? You didn't have to be.
You can go a notch up.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. Obviously, I am Tracy.
I'm Johnny.
Black Lotus Society.
Well, yeah.
All up in this biatch.
And we're going to review today Book 1, Water, Chapter 6, Imprisoned.
You've been doing. I've just been writing down the name of the episode. I know we're on Book 1. I don't need the chapter is ultimately irrelevant to me. I know
it needs the whole thing.
You okay? I mean, look, if you want to do it that way, cool.
Because then when we switch to Book 2, it'll be like, whoa. Book 2, I don't know.
Is that what it's gonna look like? What?
Yes, it's just gonna shake it up a little bit.
No, I get you.
All right, so let's start.
Well, before we go, I will say that this is one of my least favorite episodes.
Why?
Because it continues to show the ultimately childishness of Aang and the complete naivete of Katara. Still, and it's just come on, man. At some point,
okay, they are still children,
but it's irritating.
This is still the beginning of their journey.
I get that, but this episode makes her look so goddamn annoying, which sucks because she's one of my one of my favorite characters.
She becomes our favorite character. I don't think in the beginning she's any of our favorite character.
I don't think she's anyone's favorite anything at the beginning.
Not at the beginning, but I think, of course, as the characters grow, as she grows, she starts becoming this badass that we wish she was.
She's still it's funny too, because when you get, I feel like she doesn't really start to develop her real character till middle of Book 2 when Toph comes along, because then she becomes maternal.
Yeah,
she starts to look after Toph a certain, you know what I mean?
Big sister.
She starts to finally get serious. Right now, she's considered no fun because she's all, but she becomes a mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty cool.
And her skills develop, which makes it even more, but she's a healer. She becomes a healer eventually.
She becomes everything.
Yeah.
She has some dope episodes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good Katara episodes coming.
We'll get there.
Especially season 3.
Oh, also, I'd like to show you guys my shirt. See, it Save the Bisons. Told you guys I'm coming back with a new shirt, and here I am with the new Avatar shirt.
I just got an Aang shirt.
Yeah, I've seen
pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but I just want I'm gonna get a hoodie as soon as the weather cools down. I'm just getting a hoodie, and I'm wearing it every episode.
One hoodie, maybe two.
I'm getting a Water Tribe hoodie for sure.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, should make some shirts, some Black Lotus Society shirts.
We should. We will. We
Eventually.
will. We will. Yeah. For sure, Z's.
Eventually.
So yeah, let's start this episode.
All right, here we go. You starting?
No, go ahead. Do you think?
Okay. Here we go. They start off, we're in a forest, and Sokka gathered some nuts. And they're all acting bummed out about it. They don't want to eat the nuts because it's damn, that's all we've had.
But it's funny to me too because they're complaining about not having any real food, but none of them are going out to get anything. They're really putting it all on Sokka, and he's doing the best he fucking can.
Because Sokka's the only one that has any idea what he's doing.
Yeah, he was like, well, here's a nut. There's a nut. I think that's a rock. What do you want? What do you want from me, motherfuckers? It is what it is.
So anyways, they hear a loud boom in the distance.
And they do. I put that in there. Huge booms. You hear a couple of them.
You hear a scream for help, and they run over. Oh, no.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, they just go to see it.
Oh, yeah. They go to see what's up, and they see a young boy practicing earthbending, basically. And they at first, Sokka's like, don't go up to him or whatever. You don't know. Basically,
he's still on super cautious mode. He's like, it could be a firebender and all that other stuff. And he's like,
and Katara's just right there. She's like, hey, you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, she's just like, oh, you don't know. Like, yeah, because Sokka's basically like, you don't know what that is. You don't know who he is, who he works for, such and such and such and such. And yeah, Katara just walks right up to him.
Yeah.
And she's like, hi, I'm Katara. Who are you? And it's like, huh?
Really? You're trying to put us in danger?
You stupid.
We're supposed to be running from the Fire Nation, and you want to throw yourself out there.
And this is what I mean by, like, she still doesn't seem to grasp the situation that they're in.
She's still immature in that way.
God.
Emotionally immature. She sees another young kid and a boy.
She needs to get her shit together.
Of course, she's running up like, oh, snap, hey.
Because this kind of stuff gets her in trouble throughout the entire first season for the most part.
True.
She get her shit together.
But that's, well, I was going to say all of them. Probably not Sokka.
No.
Mostly
Sokka very rarely gets himself in those situations. I think twice throughout the entire first season. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
His mouth was about to get him killed in the second episode.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also the only person willing to fight in this whole place. So,
True.
You know.
Yeah.
Sokka. What do you want from him, man? What do you want from him?
You can't blame him. He's trying to do the best he can.
Yeah, so this dude stops Earthbender and he just runs away. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, yo, what the fuck? Well, he's got to be going towards the village and we can get some food. So, you know.
They head towards the village and they see it, and Katara notice him go into a shop, which I guess apparently is his home, because he goes home and says, oh, Mom, I'm back. She's like, you're late, do your chores. And so Katara walks in, just boom, walks in.
Willy-nilly,
like, hey,
and starts saying shit.
Hey, you. I saw you earlier by wherever you were. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like, I saw you outside. You were, earthbending. And she's like, what the? He was like, God damn it, you fucking snitch. Like,
that was Aang that came in and said that. He's like,
yeah.
earthbending.
Yeah, it's just like, shut up. And you can see it on his face. He's just like, yo, I can't believe y'all would out me like that. And his mom freaks out. She's closing all the blinds. She's like, yo, you was earthbending? She's like, don't worry, no one saw me. She was like, they saw you. Like, what do you, if they saw you, anybody could have seen you.
Yeah.
That's just, which is why I don't understand, like, what he was doing. He was clearly out there fucking around with his earthbending. But it's not like he was being very secretive. We hearing loud booms. They couldn't have been, you know what I mean?
Right?
And they weren't, like, close to it.
Well, maybe he was kind of a distance to where he knew a lot of villagers don't go.
But a distance from who? That's what I'm saying. People coming out. But what about people coming in?
True.
Yeah. Woo.
Bless you.
Nice.
Nice. I guess he thought that maybe, I don't know what he thought he would do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get his logic in this situation. He's a kid. Yeah. Kids are stupid. I get it.
That's the best explanation for it. Kids are dumb.
But then, okay, so they're all talking. She's telling them, like, oh, earthbending is illegal and blah, 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 all this other stuff. And they're like, holy shit, you're the Avatar. Oh, Saps, Fire Nation's coming. Everybody be cool. This shit had to act natural. And they fail. I'm sorry. This is a fail.
The most awkward poses.
Exactly. Aang needs to change his fucking clothes. I'm just going to go ahead and say
all he did was throw on that
the hat. His disguises are the worst. And no one sees through them. And it's irritating.
You're the only kid wearing that kind of clothing.
Yeah, it's super irritating that they're like, I don't know a whole lot about airbenders, but I know that they used to wear robes like that. This guy's an airbender, like or at the bare minimum, he's from the air. He's part of the air nomad tribe.
Or the bare minimum, just know he looks much different.
He looks different. He looks different.
He obviously stands out. His clothes stand out.
Dude is a sore thumb for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't get caught up much easier.
Because it's so irritating. It's like it's one of those things where it's like because you have a show like surrounded by kids being heroes in that sense, everybody else around you has to be completely stupid. Like that's literally the only way that works. People have to be dumb in order for your kids to continue to be heroes. Because if you had imagine Home Alone, right, with competent robbers, Kevin's dead.
True.
Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. All those little traps don't work. That's dies.
Because he also outsmarted them.
Because they are stupid.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
True.
Like in order for your kids to look smart or heroic in most things,
everybody else has to be stupid.
And this is one of those situations where this guy's supposed to be a general or at least a higher ranking officer in the Fire Nation, and he doesn't know what fucking air nomad robes look like. Like, at this point, word has gotten around that the Avatar is back. we should be looking for an asshole in hair robes, like at the bare minimum.
Maybe. No, couldn't come up with something.
There's just no reason. There's no reason. And it's not like nobody knows what an air nomad wears.
But, well, I guess maybe they didn't at this point.
They raided the fucking air temples.
True. But that was some time ago.
But if the Avatar existed then, it's not like he's going to be not part of that.
True.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
It's weird that nobody figures that out.
Like I like to say, cartoon logic.
Cartoon logic is stupid.
I don't hate it, but
I want no part of this nonsense.
But anyways, the Fire Nation walks up in there and he's all like, the taxes doubled, and he's like,
yeah, Fire Nation tax. That's such a fucking
like,
weird thing.
We just paid the taxes, and
he was like, hey, what can I say? Taxes are taxes.
Then he threatened them. He's like, fire can be really hard to control.
Yeah, dude, like. What kind of extortion ass bullshit? Yeah.
It was about to get real.
And you can see the dude Toru. What's his name? Toru.
Haru. Yeah.
Haru.
You're getting his.
Haru's kind of like, he looks like he wants to like jump up and do something, and his mom's kind of like, nah, chill, motherfucker. Like we'll pay the tax here. He was like, you could keep the copper ones. I was like, little terror, fucking shove those copper ones up your asshole. How about that?
Yeah, and that's when the Fire Nation left basically, and they were talking about how he was saying they're a bunch of thugs and how everybody's too coward to do anything about it.
Yeah, and then they find out that this particular village is important because of the coal mines, and they're using the coal mines to power their ships and stuff. Yeah. So they're taking all the earthbenders away. And they didn't know Haru was an earthbender, so that's why earthbending is illegal. If you're caught earthbending, you are immediately thrown in jail.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sucks.
Yeah. So they give them a place to stay, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're staying in this barn. I'll make sure Appa doesn't eat the hay. Appa gives him that look like, stop making promises for me, motherfucker. Like,
he's already starting to tear
right?
away at
He was like, yo, I do what I want. I'm Appa. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna do?
I'm an animal. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it? And it's like, but this is dumb to me too, because this once again, nobody understands the severity of the situation. So, Sokka is like, we need to leave in the morning. Period. That's it. We got to get out of here. We can't risk you being found out and all this other stuff. And Aang doesn't give two shits because he's just so aloof. He's still waiting to get back on the Aang Fun tour. And Katara's like, well, no, we need to help these people. And it's like, what the fuck can we do?
I mean, her heart's in the right place. That's the good thing.
But her brain is in the wrong place. Like
well, she's got that optimistic young person way of thinking. Like, why don't we just do this?
But there's a logical way. Like, I feel like the problem with Katara is she has no balance. Yeah. She at this point, at least, she's 100% completely idealistic. Everything is the right thing in theory, but not necessarily the right thing for the moment. Yeah. Like, Sokka's right. They need to get out of there because we haven't even fucked around and went to the South Pole yet because they've still been on Aang's Fun tour. Nobody here understands that Aang needs to learn these elements and all this other stuff, but Sokka.
Yeah, he's the only one trying to keep them moving.
The goal is get him to learn all four elements so he can defeat the Fire Lord and restore balance. Shit's not gonna happen if we don't actually get to doing anything. But there's so many detours because Aang he just wants to go have fun and do all the stuff he wanted to do. And Katara wants to stop
on these side missions.
She wants to help sing every single person who looks like, oh my God, I can't.
That's what this episode is. It's pretty much just one side mission.
It is a side mission. Well, they're all side missions. Until they get to the South Pole, everything is a side mission.
Much, yeah.
Everything is one big side mission. So
moving on. So Katara and Haru go for a walk and they're talking, and Haru was talking about his dad, and how he was brave and how he fought back against the Fire Nation when they first came to their village, and he said he only feels close to his father when he earthbends, and Katara was explaining the situation about her mom and her necklace and stuff like that, highlighting that because it's going to be relevant to the story later, basically.
Isn't it? It's okay. So we see him do the little thing where he's like how Aang does that stupid little magic trick. We see him doing that with like 3 rocks. Isn't it weird how like I get airbending? Isn't it weird how like earthbending seems more like telekinesis?
Yeah, a little bit. Huh?
It's crazy because I was looking at that like they're lifting boulders up and then like it's all telekinesis. It's crazy. That's dope.
It is.
I like that.
Well,
because
fire, water be like that too?
Yeah, but water is really more like because they're all based on specific martial art. It's more fluid, so it just feels kind of like you're taking the water and moving it with you. Whereas like earthbending is kind of like you're just like, hey, go where I want you to, motherfucker. Like you know what I mean? Like, and then airbending is airbending. It's still super vague as to like what airbending actually how it works and stuff like that. And firebending comes from within. So
I think earthbending is pretty much the core. It takes everything.
Well, yeah.
The core, and
that's why they're it's all about being grounded, planted, and all that good stuff. That's why Toph is so fucking dope. We'll get to that because she's dope as fuck.
We'll get there. And moving on forward.
Well, because you're talking about the part where Haru's talking about his dad, and Katara's like, yeah, my mom.
Now it's your sob story.
It's like, but she never misses a chance to be like, oh, you have a sad story? Yeah, my mom's dead.
She always grabs her necklace. My mother.
Which is the way she always does it, though, because she's always just like, my mom's dead, all right? So I win. The Sad People Olympics.
That person that has to one-up you on sob stories.
Like, who suffered more? Oh, man, your dad was arrested? That sucks.
My mom's
dead.
The
Fire Nation killed my mom. It's cool. This necklace, that's all I got. And now Haru's like, well, now I feel like an asshole. Like,
he did. He's like, I'm sorry about that, didn't he?
She's like, no, it's cool. How did you know? She's so jacked up. Like, you can't just pull out the my mom's dead card every
attention seeker.
Yeah, this dude's trying to tell you about him and why he earthbends and all this other stuff, and you immediately. And then she had to do that far off look too, where she was like, my mom, like, come the fuck on, man. Let this man have this because now
fishing for it.
Because now he's kind of like, well, I guess arrested isn't that bad.
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for you.
Yeah. Which we can't bring your mom back. I can totally go get my dad.
Guess not. So, this is when this is where they hear another loud boom. And they hear a man screaming for help, and they go and see an elderly man trapped underneath rocks in a mine. Mm-hmm. He's pretty much on the outskirts of a mine. Yeah. But he's underneath rocks, and they're trying to pull him out, but they can't. And Katara convinces Haru to use his bending to save the old man.
I'm going to be real with you. I've seen this episode like 10 times. And every time, I'm like, this is a setup.
I know.
I feel like and it never comes out that it was, but I still feel it's a setup. Like somebody was like, if we fake this, like this mind collapse, we can get an earthbender to reveal themselves, and we'll have another earthbender in prison.
Or maybe the Fire Nation took advantage of him at his expense. Pretty much like, you do this for us, and like he must be avoiding some kind of sentence or something.
That old man?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like a setup. Like every part of this seems like it's, like I said, it never comes out in any way that it was, but it still seems like a setup to me.
It does.
And I can't shake that. Like I can't shake the fact that it's
kind of sure. Like I know the first at least 10 times that I've seen that episode, I was just like, are they setting something up? I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. This is a trap. Like it felt like a trap, and it almost felt like Katara was part of the trap. The way she was just like, Haru, you have to use earthbending. He's like, nah, it's illegal.
I know the way she sounded like she was in on it.
Like, yeah, she's like, hey, there's no time to go get anyone at all. Period. Ever. Okay, you have to earthbend this thing.
You got no choice.
He was like, oh, fuck. All right, stand back. Let me do this. And he saves him.
He was about to say, fuck that old man.
Yeah, he should have, man, because they help this old man. They take him back and all this stuff. And he's like, it did feel good to save somebody and stuff like that. And Katara's like, I know, right? Saving is always a good thing. There's nothing bad that could ever happen from saving someone.
She's feeling pretty like a superhero.
She's full of herself at this point because her moral.
She's rolling with the Avatar.
She's got no moral gray area. Everything is like high ground. do the right thing at all costs, no matter what.
Yeah.
And nothing bad can happen to you if you do the right thing. Like, that's because she's naive. You know, they're still learning about the world and how it actually functions and works. So the old man straight up snitches.
Yeah, what a bitch, right?
He comes at. I always find it amusing how in TV and cartoons, everyone answers the door on the first knock.
I know, right? The person who's supposed to answer the door.
It is clearly like midnight, early butt in the morning.
What's up with
and they're
your
just
mom?
like, do. And then they just answer the door that second, like, hello, what's going on?
Let's just assume his mom's a heavy sleeper.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Why? I'm not answering the door that early. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck.
I know.
Especially if it's Friday. They're going to have to keep knocking, or they're just going to have to come in and I'll be waiting.
Just
like,
act like you're asleep.
Oh, what's going on, huh? And they were like, hey, that's him. That's the freaking earthbender. I seen him do it in my own ass.
I would have tried to go after. I would have been like, you little bitch.
Oh, I would have encased him in stone right there. You all getting that like right in. Oh, no. If I'm going to get arrested, I might as well get arrested for something. Shit.
Right? I would have took my chance.
It's like, what happened to you? Killed an old man. I fucking put him in a tombstone.
Worth it. He had it coming.
He had it coming. If you listen closely, you can still hear his screams. No, yeah, but that, I mean, he's messed up though, because and this is why I 100% still believe that this is a setup, because he has no reason after they saved his life to go tell the fire station, like, was there a reward?
He should have been grateful for.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, thanks, old man. But was there a reward? Did they offer him anything? Did they say anything like that? Because unless I missed it,
there must have been. He must have been an old man.
It should have been on
for
there.
Something for money or something. He must have been poor and he desperately needed money. So he's like, "Fuck this young kid."
I can see that, but they should have put that in the episode. They should have like gave him a bag of money or something like that, something to make it feel like it was worth it, other than him just snitching on somebody for the sake of law's the law, like that kind of shit. Like, because
maybe he's just a bitch old man.
He might be a bitch ass old man. In which case, you killed it. This guy's got to die.
I think there's bitch old man that actually exists in real life. It's pretty realistic.
All right. So then, Katara wakes up to get some water, whatever. She sees Haru's mom being sad, and she drops the water, which it was dramatic. It's a very dramatic reaction. And then she tells them, she's like, they took Haru. And then everyone is kind of surprised except for Sokka. He's just kind of like, well, who could have predicted that? But he doesn't say it, but you can tell he's just kind of like, yeah, he was earthbending. You probably got him in a lot of trouble, you asshole. Like, you know what I mean?
He wanted to say it.
But then she feels like it's all her fault. And she's like, we have to get him out. And she has... What's the plan? Who is it? Katara's plan is they're going to see her earthbending and they're going to arrest her. And I hate this plan so much because they never change their clothes.
Yeah. Well,
it's just...
It's possible. Like, okay. Like
everyone can't be this dumb.
Well, like the same thing. Okay, so when they were on Kyoshi Island, that's an earthbending village, right?
No, Kyoshi was an earthbender, but nobody else on that island was an earthbender. It was simply Kyoshi Island. I don't think there were any benders on that.
Maybe they're descendants of earthbenders?
Well, they just founded it. They said they founded the island after Kyoshi, but it's not specifically said that no one on there earthbended in any way. I don't think it's an earthbending village. I don't even think it's part of the Earth Kingdoms per se. I think it's its own entity of whoever's. You know, hey, people want to come here? Cool, come here. But... yeah, I mean, I understand, because I feel like...
Nobody said, hey, you're not wearing green.
Well, because nobody there. Like, all the little girls in that village were wearing blue.
Yeah.
So it's not like... that's why I feel like they're just like kind of like almost like a refugee camp, to say. Like...
It did kind of have that
It doesn't feel like there was any one, like, peoples there. It felt like it was just, you know, a hodgepodge of different cultures and stuff living under the banner of Kyoshi.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was really no reason to be like, oh yeah, this is an Earth King, because I used to think the same thing. I was like, nobody, but none of the Kyoshi warriors earthbended.
True.
Just throwing that out there. They just kick ass with their hands and feet.
And fans.
And fans. The fans, that's the coolest part. somebody beat my ass with a fan, I quit. Like, that's just fact. I'm leaving. I'm walking right out.
Be like this. Hey, I'm done.
Look what happened. A fan? Yeah, man. Look, I'm not gonna question. I don't know how it happened. It just did.
I can't do that with the fan.
And I want no part of this anymore. I quit. I quit this whole thing. This whole outfit.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
So this plan is what's the plan?
So the plan basically, it's what they do is they're gonna use vents. They're gonna have Aang blow airbend through the vent and blow the rock on the other end of the vent, so that it pretty much levitates in the air, makes it look like Katara's earthbending. And so they start arguing and stuff. She calls Sokka. She's like, "You big-eared cretin," and he's like, "Whoa, back off." He's like, "No, really, back off."
It's like it's starting to hurt a little bit.
It hurting my feelings.
And she just keeps going on, and she's like, "That's all right. I'll show you earthbending style." And Aang misses his cue because he's not. Once again, doesn't take this situation seriously at all. He's over here playing with a goddamn butterfly.
Oh yeah, huh?
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't
get it at all.
And so he finally does it, like, because the Fire Nation guards, they walked up or whatever, and he finally does it and airbends the rock up.
Yeah.
And so they're like, whoa. That lemur's earthbending.
Sokka's like, yo, what? No, you idiot! It's the girl. Like, oh yeah. That makes more sense. Yeah.
It's so funny because they do have a lot of instances where, like, the Fire Nation, like,
they're just dumb,
dumbass guy.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. In order for your kids to be heroes, the adults have to be dumb. DUMB.
It's funny though.
Dumb.
It gets funnier. The guards get funnier.
I think I said so they take Katara, not realizing she's wearing water tribe clothes, and that is as well as a water nation pendant around her goddamn neck.
I was gonna say this. Maybe they assume that waterbenders, because they come from the North and South Pole, are always wearing their, their big coats and stuff like that. They're warm clothes.
They're just stupid.
And let me see. So maybe, perhaps, because they're not don't have a whole bunch of layers like they normally would if they were to go travel, because they said they don't get out of the.
Yeah, they've never left. They have never left. That doesn't mean no one has ever left.
Well, then I don't know anymore.
I just think that's the whole point. The adults are stupid.
Look,
they're grunts. They're not so. I'll give it to them. They're grunts. They're not paid to think. They're paid to follow orders.
True.
So whatever. Are they even being paid?
I assume so.
They're probably being paid.
Yeah, Fire Nation is a pretty rich nation.
Very lucrative.
They make it seem like that.
Yeah, very lucrative.
Yeah, and
a lot of money in fire, I guess.
I mean,
but then
got power.
That is one of my favorite lines of this entire show is, "Momo, you got some big ears."
Momo's like, what?
He's like, all right, now I feel better.
He just needs to insult somebody else.
Yeah. So we get Katara on this prison boat. The warden, who is played by George Takei. I found that amusing. I was like, I recognize that voice.
I heard the voice again, and I was just like, hey.
And so he's doing his thing. He's telling everybody, hey, if you just do what you're told, there's no escape, you'll be fine, blah, blah, blah.
And this guy goes...
He coughs, so yeah, he's like, he firebends at him. He was like, yo, all right, send this motherfucker to the hole. And I was like, yo, that's extreme as hell.
It was trying to be all welcoming at first. It seemed like he was cool, and then
yeah, that shit was crazy though, because it was just like, yeah, if that dude didn't back up, he would have been dead.
Pretty much.
That is crazy. So then Katara runs into what's his name? Haru. And he's like, yo, Katara, wait, what the fuck are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I got captured to break you out. He's like, yeah, fuck all that. You want to meet my dad?
Right, he did.
Completely ignored the reason she was there. And she kind of ignored it too for a second. Like
you didn't...
Sense of urgency, Katara. Get your shit together.
No, but what's even worse is him. It's like, she just said she came in to save you, and you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. You're here with us now.
I know. He was like, well, pull up a chair. Here's my dad.
She's not getting out
He
of
was
here.
like, Katara, I've heard so much about. I was like, bro, stop
So
talking
much.
about. So yeah, stop. What do you
There's
know?
only so much you could have
All
heard.
you could have told was like, I'm from the water tribe. My mom is dead. What else do you know, Haru? Like, what else do you?
Maybe he heard the story of them saving the old man.
Probably. But
maybe that is
even
so
still,
much.
like, yeah, I'd be like, I've heard so much
Victim.
about you. It's your fucking fault my son's in here.
Right?
Piece of shit.
But I like how they emphasize that his dad was he's just a good man, and pretty much.
Yeah, he's taking care of all the prisoners. They were like, hey, old him, we don't have any blankets. I was like, all right, cool. I'll talk to the guards.
I know,
In the
he's got
meantime, in the meantime, make sure the old people have some. I'll hook it up. I'll see what I can do around here.
Like, the rest of us will have to survive the weather or whatever, or just hope for
and
warmer
pray
weather.
for warmer weather. Yeah, I was just like, all right.
Oh, what's the guy who does his voice?
I think it's Kevin Michael Richardson.
Is that
I'm
his
almost 100% certain. I can't use my phone right
he's
now.
done a lot of other voices, and
Look it up real quick because I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Michael Richardson. But yeah, just look up the episode because that's
I only know him as principal from American Dad.
Yeah, well, that's Kevin Michael Richardson, so that's what I'm saying.
It. No, that is him.
Yeah. Or is it Michael Kevin? It's one of those. But yeah, him. Yeah,
Mr. Richardson.
He's dope. He's dope. He's
I
dope. No,
love
he
his
does a
voice.
lot of voices.
Yeah, he
I mean,
does
when
a
I say a lot, he's up there. He's got Phil Lamar credits, like Cree Summers credits. He's like Nolan North
every time
credits.
I hear him, I'm like, dang, he's in this too. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, man. No,
He
got
a lot of different.
He's
voices.
got the voice for it, so of course he's gonna do it. But
He's got a great voice.
So then, Katara does what she does not so good, and that's try to rally the earthbenders. She's like, hey, earthbenders, back where I'm from, we've heard how great of warriors you were and all this other stuff. And the firebenders would do something to do. It's like, no, I want to see how this plays out. He's like, let it go. Let it go.
And exactly what he suspects to happen, because
he was like, they're broken.
Yeah, he's pretty much explaining that he knows they're broken. They have no hope.
None
of trying to.
They're not going to escape
themselves.
Yeah, they're not going to try to escape because they know that there's no point.
Yeah,
they have no weapons, which is why, I feel like the thing about one of the themes in this show that makes Sokka such an endearing character is that a lot of characters use their bending as a crutch. Right?
Yeah.
And Sokka has been kicking ass the entire series without it. You know what I mean? So these earthbenders can't earthbend anything, and they're just like, oh, we're nothing. It's like, bro, you see how big you are? Come on, man.
If you restrain their hands, a firebender's hands,
and not even just that, every Fire Nation soldier isn't a firebender. We've seen that throughout the series, that some of them don't firebend. Some of them are just soldiers holding pikes.
Really?
Yeah, all of them don't firebend unless they're just not firebending. But if you have firebending, I would not be running spear first at anybody.
True, right?
But they do it a lot, which to me means that
True.
some of those dudes probably can't firebend.
I didn't think about that.
That's my logic. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I've never heard it expressed that way, but it feels like that makes sense.
Somebody could suggest
what
possibly.
the fuck am I using a spear for if I can literally make the most powerful element?
I can make fire.
I would never even wear armor. I'd just be like,
I wonder if
fire, son. What do you want me to
the
do?
Fire Nation ever look at each other like, why do we have these spears? We literally make fire.
It's like, shut up. It looks cool.
It does. It looks that much cooler.
It's just like stormtrooper armor.
Is there a point?
What's
really?
the point?
Not really.
That shit is useless as hell.
It looks thin. First of all, you get hit.
That shit looks hollow.
You automatically go down when you get hit.
I don't know what it's made out of, but it's got to be some sort of plastic.
That's what it looks like.
Because them dudes be getting shot. They're like, oh, well. That's
it. Why do we have this uniform if it doesn't do anything?
What are you exactly? Why are we even wearing this?
What's the point?
I hate my life. But yeah, so the speech doesn't work. They're broken and all that other stuff. And Katara's like, fuck, whatever. So Aang and Sokka show up there because they've been following the ship on Appa, and they're like, okay, time's up. We don't have Haru. We gotta go. And she's like, no, I'm not giving up. And Sokka's like, I swear to God that you want us to die.
Last chance. You coming or not?
And she's like, no, I'm not leaving these people. I'm gonna remember. I was like, okay, look, that's
Sokka's
noble.
Like, fuck.
Like, right, that's noble. And then Aang is just like, yeah, man, whatever Katara wants to do. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're not helping. You're literally the most no-help person in the entire universe right now. And I need you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But yeah, because she's just like, I'm going to stay. So then they're just like, fuck, okay, I guess we're staying. And Sokka comes up with the brilliant idea. He was like, yo, if they're funneling in coal, They have all the coal here. We can funnel it out. If Aang uses airbender at the right time, they come up.
The
they
same
use
plan from earlier, basically.
Yeah.
On a little larger scale.
It's a better plan because Sokka had it.
I guess.
It is a better plan because Sokka had it.
But Sokka didn't come up with the idea of the coal because Aang immediately noticed the smoke.
Well, yeah, he noticed the smoke, which gave him the idea. He's like, all right.
He
was like, guys, we're running the same play. All right. It worked last time, even though it should not have in any way, shape, or form. Because, like, the first time you can see the air pushing the rock up, you can see the vent.
You probably hear all that air going through.
It's so bad. It's such a bad plan. But
it must have been really dumb.
This one makes more sense because the plan isn't to deceive. It's literally just to do the thing.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, we're going to do that. And yeah, so they do it. They basically make it happen. And all the coal comes out, and Katara's like, "Earthbenders, here's your chance. You know, you have all the shit you need. You remember when you said that you couldn't have been, and that's why you no excuses now, motherfucker."
To invigorate them again,
and they were still kind of like, "No, we can't. We're so scared. Oh my god!"
And the warden comes on. He's like, "You're one word away from losing your life or something like that."
Yeah, he was like, "I'll kill you right here."
Pretty much.
Because Haru's like, "Let's do it." And his dad's like, "No, chill, nigga, chill." And he's like, "No, like, what the fuck, man?"
The warden starts to walk away because he noticed that nothing was happening. Nobody was joining her, basically. And then when he turns around, Haru, well, you don't see it's Haru yet, but a rock gets thrown at the warden.
He was like, "Who did that?"
And Haru,
who the fuck?
He's standing there with his rock thing.
Yeah, doing his little rock thing. He's like, "Yeah, I'm super cool." And then he's like, "All right, buddy. You just wrote a check your ass." And whoosh, he tries to hit him with the fire, and then all of a sudden you see that coal wall come up. And this is
Dad, Tyro, trying to protect him. That's his name. Tyro.
And this is the first, like, the second time we get to see more, like, really cool earthbending. And it's like, now because we saw what Boomy was able to do. And it was like, that's one person, so that's pretty cool. But this, like, earthbending more than any of the other bending is like a team effort. And it's crazy that with nobody saying shit, they all immediately know exactly what to do. It's like, I don't know how that works, but that shit's pretty cool because it happens throughout the entire series for the most part. And I only see it happen with waterbenders, not as much, but with earthbenders a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and that shit.
It is a team effort. You saw them work together. I like that it was the introduction of other bending of something that's not necessarily rock.
A rock. Yeah. Cole was like, okay. So earthbending it's a spectrum, really. It's like anything that's considered earth, which is why at some point metal bending was definitely just going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's iron. It all comes from the earth anyways. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So
it just makes sense.
It was pretty awesome seeing that.
But yeah, this was pretty cool. They were doing a lot of cool movements, and this right here was the worst scene in the movie. The worst scene in the movie because they didn't even put him on a boat. They were
for a little rock.
I was like, I hate this movie
it went
so much.
Slow too. Like if they would have made it,
bro, there was
faster.
a wire. You can see the wire doing this. It's so bad. I don't want to talk about it right now.
We'll get to the movie another time.
But it was like this was dope. And then the funnel thing when he was like, "Give me some rocks," and it was like that shit was dope.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so they're kicking ass, and they free the earthbenders, and they're basically like, "Hey, this is our ship now, motherfucker."
And they toss the warden and the guards.
He's like,
over.
"No, I can't swim." He was like, "It's okay. I heard cowards float." It is my best impression.
No,
I don't know. I can't do a good George Takei, but it was. I think it was pretty good. That's how he sounded. No,
I guess that's the best anybody
float. It was dumb. Fuck you,
George Takei.
Hello. I don't know. I don't got nothing. But it was just like they dump in the water. I wonder if he drowned. I hope he drowned. No, he didn't drown. We know nobody.
But he was never seen again.
Well, I thought they saw him getting on like a rescue boat or something with the rest of them or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But then he was like, "Okay, so hey, are you gonna come with us?" He was like, "Nah, we got Earth. We gotta take back our village." Duh.
And Haru's like, "Come help us." She's like, "Bro."
She's like, "No, I did.
I did what I needed to do.
What else do you want from me at this point? Like you You help yourself. You help your goddamn self.
She's like, all right, side mission over.
Side mission indeed over. Just like, all right, who do I turn this into? I need some coins. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And she's just like, I just had to remember what's in my necklace. I feel like that's not a necklace, it's a choker. That thing's been pretty tight around her.
Right?
The fact that she did not feel it at all, well, I guess in the heat of the battle, you kind of don't, there's a lot of stuff going on. But still.
Adrenaline.
But still, once that weighs down, you're like, holy shit. My neck feels light.
Oh, God, I lost it.
And then she's like, oh, no, my necklace. And they never was like, oh, we'll go back for it. They were like, nah, it's gone.
Yeah, it must be at this point.
Sorry. I know you feel pretty bad about it.
Cuts to Zuko.
It was your mom's. Yeah, he's like.
He picks it up.
I have expected him to smell it because he's a weirdo. He's
like, thin man.
Right, he was like. And then they're all just looking at him. He's like, what?
It smells salty.
I'm trying to get the scent. They're like, okay, whatever,
Can you imagine?
Whatever, buddy.
You know what I think about? I'm like, how often have they gotten to bathe?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. That's a good question that none of no shows, no movies like that. They rarely
they should probably
address.
Look and smell crusty.
Like they rarely address that, and it's fine because you don't want to see crustiness the whole time.
Not things you necessarily need in the show, but it makes me think about those.
Well, it's like
survival.
Okay, so Troy kind of does a good job of it, where it's like after that first initial push on the beach, when Achilles comes back to his tent. And they're like, oh, we've got the girl in there for you. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He goes to that big ass little water basin thing and just starts pouring shit on his head and smacking his face with like a towel. And then that's it. That's literally the extent of
That's probably what they've done.
He gets that ladle and he's just like, all right, over here. And then he drinks out of the same thing that he used to bathe, bro. That's hardcore as fuck. That is hardcore.
That is some hardcore shit. I don't think I could do that. I'd rather
took
just
the spoon, was like, yeah.
Drink your own bath water.
Bro, that was like, that's good shit.
That's nasty.
But yeah, they know, of course they're not going to address it because then we have to acknowledge that everyone stinks and everyone's musty as fuck around here. I'm pretty sure somebody's bathing somewhere. Like they were clearly, like when they got to the island of Kyoshi, they bathed.
Yeah.
They had a bath and all that good shit. I know they didn't hear unless like Haru's mom let them bathe while they were there.
Possibly.
Which means they're just not bathing every day. It's like there's time.
They're going crusty.
They're finding oceans and just dipping in that motherfucker.
Go for a swim.
Yeah.
Lakes, rivers.
What are they using for soap?
Nothing, just water.
We know soap exists.
Yeah.
They're just not using anything for soap. They're just hoping for the best with the water.
No, we'll be all right. Buy a little bit of perfume over here in this village.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, that's the episode.
Yep.
Nice.
So, what were your thoughts after the episode?
My thoughts after the episode is the same thing. Katara is just she's too idealistic and too naive, which makes sense. I mean, obviously, like for show purposes, that's the whole point and stuff like that. But it's like, get your shit together. There's so many more important things that we need to be focused on other than you feeling good about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like you're on this journey. We already convinced everyone to do this.
I think this is where they're showing what, like, they have. You can have great traits, right?
Yeah.
But that can become toxic traits if they're not, balanced, basically. And I think that's what they're showing, like them coming to themselves, finding that balance.
I think in essence, that's the trait of every major character in here, with the exception of Iroh. But even then, Iroh's toxic. Iroh's toxic trait even now is his wanting to save Zuko so bad. Like
True.
it's bad on him. It's
so much
exactly.
that he will see him go through all kinds of stuff. He will
still stick by his side no matter what. That's the thing. That's the toxic trait. But then you have like Sokka. We got his out early. He's kind of a chauvinist. You know what I mean? He's kind of a men are better than women kind of deal. And we got that out the way.
That's also what's good about him too, because he's somebody who's always gonna step first if shit gets real.
Well, yeah, he is. He's a
protector first.
And I think a lot of that comes from not their dad not being around, him being the oldest man in the village. Now, obviously not the only, because there's a bunch of little boys, but he's the oldest. He took that responsibility, especially because nobody else was going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like Katara was practicing her waterbending on a consistent enough level where she was good enough to fight. He had to be the sole protector. So you're right. It is kind of like gift and a curse. Mm-hmm. He grew up seeing only men were warriors, so he grew up. That's just how it goes. He has no real reason to believe that, other than that's the only thing he's ever seen. But he, like I said, he gets called out on that very early in the series, and he's like, "Holy shit, I was wrong."
Yeah, he starts to progress. I think, mature a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
As time passes, he could have been really immature at the beginning versus at this point, he's got his head even more in the game and trying to be a little wiser about what steps he makes.
Because I think even now his goal is to win by any cost still. And I think that's a toxic trait of his that he eventually works on.
Yeah.
But he is kind of like, the goal is the goal. There is no deviation, period. And then Aang's biggest flaw is he doesn't give a shit about anything.
Well, I don't think
he's very selfish.
I think he's got a really free spirit and a different point of view of looking at things, and that's the great thing about him. And also,
he shirked his responsibilities as Avatar, which I understand because who the fuck wants to be given that kind of responsibility that young? However,
I did.
Yeah, I would have.
I was waiting for a call or something.
Well, I mean, there we go. And that's one of the biggest differences between him and Korra is Korra wanted that shit. As soon as she knew, she was a toddler, firebending? Like, she was ready for the war, bro. Like, she was like, I'm the Avatar, let's get it going. Like, you know what I mean? Which is why I still believe that Korra will fucking kill Aang.
Possibly.
Not possibly. She would murder that man where he stood.
Only because of the way she looks at being her responsibility of being the Avatar compared to the way he looks at it.
Well, I think
but I think he could be really strong.
No, he is.
If he truly wanted to, but it's not he's not
that's what I'm saying.
An offensive fighter.
Power is not what would define the fight. Because we cannot, like, a lot of times when they do like death battle between comic book characters, they take out personalities and only look at the abilities. But you have to, personalities are who make them who they are.
True.
Right? If you ask who would win between Batman and, like, let's say the Punisher would probably win because he has no problem killing. True. You know what I mean? That big flaw in Batman's, like, I wouldn't say flaw, but that part of him wouldn't allow him to really do what he needed to do in order to beat a guy like Punisher. However, same thing goes here. Aang would not try to hurt Korra because he sees her as an ally, or he will probably want to be friends. Korra sees this man as an objective.
She'll probably be like, all right.
She's like, you got to get the fuck up out the way. If you don't move, I will kill you. Like, you know what I mean? And she didn't have the luxury to have that same kind of, like, she tried. Yeah. Remember, she tried with Amon in the first season, and look what it cost her. You know what I mean?
She was trying to be diplomatic.
She was trying to be diplomatic. Sometimes these niggas is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Aang is lucky in the sense that they're just trying to capture him. No one's tried to really kill him.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So he's kind of, like, been able to just be happy-go-lucky about a lot of his situations.
Well, who I think tried to kill them, of course, is at the end, Zuko's dad, Ozai.
Yeah, and honestly, he would have if it wasn't for him unlocking the Avatar state at the right moment. Which is the thing. If you take the Avatar state out of it, too,
true,
Korra fucking mops the floor with Aang.
Yeah.
He's going to have to run. That's it. You know what I mean? Because he's really good at airbending, and I think his second best would probably be earthbending.
Yeah.
Whereas Korra's good at everything but airbending. Yeah,
he's a bit water.
Well, he had the hardest time getting earthbending because he's light on his feet. You know, air and earth completely collide with each other. But once he got it, it was the one that I saw that he looked like he was the best at.
True.
He did that in cases and stuff like a lot of shit. He was pretty good at it.
Tosh was the teacher that he was supposed to have.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Korra fucks Aang up. I'm just gonna go ahead.
I can't wait to get to Korra too.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love that series.
That's really great too.
I don't care what anyone says. That shit was dope.
People talk a lot of shit about Korra,
but you know what it is too? It's one of those things where because if Legend of Korra came out first and, like, The Last Airbender was a prequel, nobody would even talk about it. Nobody would say nobody would say that, this show wasn't that good, because they're only comparing it to what came before. Yeah. And those are called unrealistic expectations. Sorry that all the characters aren't there. Sorry that it's not the same show.
Yeah.
It's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think
it's different characters, different personalities, different abilities.
It's like you can't say, it was just like, okay, So when the new Suicide Squad came out and it was good, people were like, well, it's only good because the other one was bad. I was like, no, it was good because it was objectively good.
Yeah.
Like,
Still
the other
have
one
yet to
has
see
nothing. You haven't seen it yet?
No,
Oh, you gotta watch that.
I was
It's
gonna
fucking-
try and watch it, but they took it off already.
Yeah, you gotta wait like a month before they put it back on.
Great.
That's your fault. You should have been on it. You should have been on the game. That shit was dope.
I'll get to it.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Black Lotus Society signing off.
Woo woo.